Hello and welcome to This Car Pod.
I'm Kennan.
I'm Filippo.
There's a lot to discuss today. Let's start with the news.
Can we first say welcome back, Kennan?
Thank you. It's very good to be back. I've been gone for a long time. I was in Europe. I'm really happy to be home.
And we're going to discuss all that. Kennan has done some Galavanting, and it's a lot of automotive-related stuff, and that will be coming up in the Talk Car segment where we talk about cars. But first, we have to talk about cars. Go ahead.
Good call. All right. Rivian, which makes SUVs and pickup trucks, said this week that they lost $1.1 billion in Q2 of this year. Now, on about $1.3 billion of revenues. Now, their revenues are up, and they lost less this year than they lost in Q2 of last year. So they are improving.
Still down.
Revenue was up 13% from this Q2 of last year. Last year, they also lost about $1.5 billion. So really, they're doing better. But RJ Scaringe, the CEO of Rivian, did say on their earnings call that there's a few big factors that are impacting this. One is they can't really sell like EV credits anymore. Like they and Tesla and others used to sell regulatory credits because they don't sell any gas-powered cars.
Right.
And other companies.
Explain that.
Like
so car
Chrysler.
companies that need to meet some sort of mandate in terms of emissions capability or whatever output can buy credits from electric car companies, or could in the past. But that's gone away, right?
Yeah, a lot of the requirements, I think it still exists a little bit, but a lot of the requirements around that for other companies have gone away, so they no longer need to purchase those credits that Rivian, Lucid, Tesla, whatever.
Can I ask you a question, Filippo, my Italian friend?
Yep.
Is an electric car company a sustainable business model anymore?
Maybe. I mean, they're losing less money than before. Also, I want to announce to all of our listeners, next week, the podcast, we will be having this podcast, the three of us. We will also have a fourth guest, which is RJ Scaringe, the CEO of Rivian.
Well, we could ask him about
exactly what we should ask. Yes,
we could ask him about this. Like, it's an interesting question, right? Because like it was hard before. Rivian was losing money before. They've taken away some of the things that have made it easier to be an EV company. And obviously, Rivian, you'd think, would have their biggest success when the products are brand new, just being rolled out, very exciting. They're starting to get old. Now, they have some new stuff coming, but presumably at lower profit margins because it's cheaper, and might potentially cannibalize the sales of the bigger, more expensive, more profitable stuff. I mean, it's in an easy position to be in.
I mean, we talked last week about how pretty much every European automaker was complaining heavily. They weren't saying it explicitly, but they were fundamentally saying our earnings will be and profits will be way lower this year because of tariffs, because of our investments in EV that have or have not paid off. Honda had to declare a large loss due to that as well in Q2. It's a tough regulatory environment to work in. It's a tough market to work in, and also then there's other impacts. They've said that tariffs. So by the way, Rivian makes all their cars in the U.S. They've said that tariffs are expected to cost about a couple $1,000s per vehicle that they build.
Crazy.
So they're made of 2025. So just
Rivian
parts that are tariff costs.
Rivian builds a car in Illinois. They still have to deal with all these tariffs. Kennan, what's your favorite car to ever come out of the factory where they build the Rivian?
Wasn't it? Well, didn't they? Isn't that the old Viper?
Don't tell him, Filippo.
What was made there?
You know what mine is? The Rivian R1S.
Nice.
Well said.
Nice.
Well done.
But my second favorite was the Plymouth Laser RS Turbo.
Good answer.
Well,
The factory is DSM. You know, back in the day, that meant something. DSM, you'd say that. Now it's just a medical people use it, right? But back in the day, when I was a kid, you said DSM, and you knew you were talking about hot import nights. You knew you were talking about going to the warehouse area late at night to do drag racing. Anybody who dropped those three letters, you knew what they were about. You understand, Filippo?
Yeah, I very much do. I do want to say on Rivian, I mean, we're excited to talk to RJ and to like ask him some of these questions. I said that they view this as a little bit of a win, though. I mean, revenue rose 13% year over year. They've kept their sale projections the same for the rest of the year. The market didn't really react that favorably. Stock price fell about 5% after earnings were announced, but it's not a horrible spot to be in as long as you're comfortable burning about $4 to $5 billion a year. It's
tough to lose that kind of money, though.
Yeah.
Where does What do you think RJ's favorite DSM car was? The
We should
Eclipse,
ask him that.
The Laser, yeah.
Add it to the list
Actual
of questions.
question: when does the R2 go on sale? It looks like R2 goes on sale in 26. If they first half of 26, that'll have a big impact.
Yeah.
On whatever. I mean, like, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure in terms of revenue profitability. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. That'll probably be the Rivian, right?
Oh, without
like
a
everyone
single
wants an
100%.
R1, but they're big money. But the R2 looks like an R1, but it's cheaper. Like, that'll be the Rivian. That's
Yeah.
the one Filippo's going to get.
They've also,
the R3 is the one I'm most excited about, but I think
Eventually.
market-wise, it's more important. The R2 is going to be the one that
Yeah.
is
Well, plus,
of criticality.
The
for them.
R3 is also further away. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm more excited about the R3, but I think the R3 doesn't go on sale. It's for another
Much
year, a
later.
year after the
2028,
R2.
yeah.
So we're still
I'm waiting.
6 months away from R2. We're a year
Yep.
and 6 months away from the R3.
Yep. I will say Rivian confirmed on this earnings call that they're still targeting the same base price for the R2, around $45,000, which is notable because it's no longer eligible for a tax credit that they were planning on. So I
What
think
about-
they know they need to sell units and keep the price low.
Do you think here's one to ponder? Do you think the R4 will fly?
Might
That's
float.
another question for RJ. It's another question for RJ. What's your favorite DSM car? Will the R4 fly? Is an electric car company a sustainable business model? This is going to be our podcast next week. It's going to be a whopper, folks.
It will. It'll be quite something.
I think that asking, are there features from other cars that they're considering, like floating or flying?
yeah.
Or
I mean,
jumping?
that's a good question.
that could be one too.
Chinese cars jump, RJ. The Chinese
will Rivian
cars
jump?
Do you
I'm just
jump?
looking forward to the email that we get from RJ saying, I really just thought about it again. I don't know that I want to
No
do this
way.
podcast.
That's not going to happen. RJ's legit.
No, of
Let me
course
tell you
not.
something.
He's so legit.
Rivian is like a fun young. If we were having this conversation about Audi, they would never talk to us again, right?
No, they.
flying Audis.
You were in that commercial that they just was a little bit of fun throwing some water balloons, and the Germans like, no, that is not going to happen.
We made a
Get
big
rid of it.
mistake. We made a mistake with an Audi commercial. I was in an Audi commercial, and we had fun. And the Germans, what they
not
do
allowed.
when you have fun is they put a stop to it instantly. No.
Take it to Vey.
They actually do. They have fun, but it's specified hours, and we had fun outside the specified hours.
Big mistake. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah,
It was unpermitted fun.
yeah. Okay, what other news do we have here?
All right. This gentleman is named
This is
Adrian Mardell.
crazy. This is crazy. Tell us the story. I'm going to give you my take, which is, I don't know. Jaguar will never
right.
have us on.
All right, Adrian Mardell was and actually still is till November the CEO of Jaguar Land Rover. Jaguar Land Rover, of course, makes zero Jaguars
cars.
and some amount of Land Rovers. They do still make Land Rovers. He announced last week that he was retiring after 3 years as the CEO of Jaguar Land Rover and after 35 years with the company. A gentleman will be taking his place, PB Balaji, who is currently the CFO of Tata Motors, which owns Jaguar Land Rover.
Yes.
I can't believe
Here's-
you didn't pull up a picture of PB Balaji. Okay, I'm going to describe PB Balaji for you.
Oh God!
You see the guy here?
Yeah.
A lot like that. Now it's interesting because he's Indian, but it's the same old. The reason I bring this up as surprising is because Jaguar is doing this rebrand where they're trying to appeal to, like, you remember the video, Filippo?
Of
Where they
course.
had
Oh, yeah.
these, like, people. It was like a woman dressed in a yellow box, and then a
Yes,
man who looked like a tiger.
They're trying
And then
to
there
appeal
was
to,
like a
the Berlin
ball went
audience.
across the screen. And who do they hire as the CEO to carry out the vision of this? 62-year-old businessman.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get your point, but at the same time, credit to Mr. Mardell. Jaguar aside, if we forget about Jaguar, which again sells zero cars currently,
Yes.
he in the 3 years as CEO took Jaguar Land Rover as a whole from heavily bleeding money to being an actually profitable company and making the best profits ever. All driven by Range Rover
Wait a
sales.
minute. Are they profitable because they're currently not spending money since they're not in production, but they are still selling off excess?
Land Rover is part of Jaguar Land Rover, and Land Rover, to their credit, does actually make money.
What do you mean in 3 years? The Defender came out 6 years ago. What do you got?
I mean, maybe they stopped investing in new products. I don't know, but they had some strong financial growth over that
In
time.
his view, like Steve Jobs said about Apple back in the day, is that Jaguar was a ship with a hole in the bottom, and it was sinking dramatically. And his job was to get the ship pointed in the right direction. Still sinking.
Look, I think he decided that it's better if that ship.
Well, maybe. I mean, Land Rover must be a fun brand to run. Like, ultimately,
That must be nice.
Like, that's a real brand that has real interest from people and sells real cars. No.
Yeah, a lot of the articles have already basically said like he turned around the business around for JLR generally. It had 10 consecutive profitable quarters under his leadership after being quite unprofitable. But probably we'll all remember him for this Jaguar rebrand situation.
With the pink rock.
And also for the new Range Rover logo.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget about that.
What a
Kennan,
legacy.
you remember the woman in a yellow box? And
I do. And I remember the guy with no hair that was wearing like a trash bag. I remember
The
that
guy
guy.
with no hair wearing a trash bag. Then later in the video, there was a squirrel wearing a smock.
Ooh, well, that might have actually saved him, but it didn't.
You know, I thought the podcast would be less unhinged without Nick. I was wrong.
I'm not wrong about any of this stuff. Move on to the next news story.
No, that's the thing that's crazy.
All right. Mercedes-Benz.
Oh,
A chart.
wow,
It must be fully posted.
Yeah, it's a chart.
we're doing a PowerPoint here.
We are
and
indeed.
the third quarter, the numbers are going to be...
We have, courtesy of Motor One, some leaked Mercedes-Benz product planning plans. So this is basically their product roadmap for 2026, 2027 for new models that are coming out. This is a really notable product offensive, is how every newspaper is describing it. Now, some of them
Is
we
it going to
already
be
know
as good as their last product offensive where they gave us the EQC SUV, which sold one unit?
You have to hope it's better, but that is the CLA shooting brake. And that's
But
the electric
this is
CLA shooting
global.
brake.
This is a global.
Yeah.
Am I getting?
Correct.
Am I getting an E-Class station wagon electric or what? I can't see this, but I'm
maybe.
trying to.
Maybe. It turns out they're all shrouded in mystery still. Some of them we do know.
What does it look like? Like, tell me if
No,
there's an
the
E-Class.
car shapes are all identical.
Okay, fine, but just extrapolate. Like,
We do know-
You gotta assume. I'll take battery electric or plug-in, but you got to assume like if it in the mid-size. Let me explain Mercedes. They got the mid-size. That's the E-Class. If there's like several products there and they're electric, one of them is probably an E-Class station wagon. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good bet. It is broken up at the top end where they're clearly investing a lot of resources. Core, where and entry level, where CLA is in one of them. We believe that there's a new GLC facelift. A bunch of these, if we're being honest, are going to be facelifts of existing models. But we do know that they've paused sales in the US of their EQ lineup. And even though they haven't paused sales of the G580 with the U technology.
Well,
boy,
let's be
have
clear.
they.
They've paused imports. Sales will continue because there are decades of them stacked up. They got 2.5 years days supply of
Point
inventory.
taken. Point
You know what
taken.
they should do? This is a thought for me. You know what they should do? Kennan, chime in if you agree. If you don't agree, don't chime in. They should make an off-road GLS.
It bounces already. It exists.
I'm good. I'm not going to chime in on that one.
It exists.
Now that
It
one's
does
all
technically
fancy.
exist.
I want a GLS with meaty tires and some flared fenders and some attitude and a bull bar, which probably is no longer legal because of regulations. But I want to like kind of GLS. You know what I'm
You
saying?
sound like a prince making demands, and I want a bull bar on my. Make it
Bring me
happen.
in
Let's
and
go.
Put on giant lights on the roof. Make it so.
Make it so, Hella.
This is all to say that they're clearly investing very heavily and recognizing that their product lineup is either not very successful at the moment or outdated, which is some of their products really are at this point, and they're coming out with a lot. The top end is quite heavy.
What do you think's outdated?
A lot of their products are still doing okay, but the E-Class is new. The C-Class is a couple years old and due for a facelift. The CLA
GLC is
new.
brand new.
The
GLS
GLC is
feels
newish. The GLE has been around for a hot minute, as has the GLS at this point. The GLS, that generation came out in 2018.
Yeah, but it feels new.
Yeah, but it came out in 2018.
Like when I see one, I still think, damn.
What about the GLB? Do you think damn about a GLB?
The GLB, is that still around? I haven't seen
Yeah.
one since I got here. I haven't seen one in 3 months. It's been nice.
I believe it is, and I will say I do think it still has a third row, so that's something.
The point is, Mercedes making a lot of products. Some of them are going to be electric.
About a little bit under half.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, the previous electric incarnation of Mercedes-Benz was not a heavy hitter.
No, so you have to hope for them that this one will be.
Did any of the
right
electric
to.
Mercedes do well? They electrified a G-Wagon, the most desired, hot-selling, wait-list vehicle in the entire car market, and even that didn't sell.
Yeah.
Oy.
They also chose to not really electrify in a way anybody wanted any of their core products.
I totally disagree. I would have, first off, I would have an EQS, but second, I want an EQG, or whatever it's called, now. Like, I would take one now. I wouldn't pay
You could get one.
I'd pay 88.3.
I think you're like, if you meet halfway, the dealer's in.
I will only meet at the 88.3 figure.
Might take a few years.
I bet it'll take about 18 months, based on what
Yeah.
I'm already seeing used ones selling for.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
No one really teaches you about credit. It's a huge part of adult life, but it's such a blind spot when you're starting out. I take my finances very seriously, but even then, I had to learn some things the hard way. It's easy to make a misstep or not realize how much your score is affecting your life. That's why I'm a big fan of what Ava is doing. Ava is a credit building app that makes it so easy to improve your credit fast so you can get better rates on loans, pay off debt faster, and keep more money in your pocket. You can be approved in just 5 minutes. No credit check, no interest. Ava connects to bills or subscriptions you're already paying and helps you build your credit in the background. Most members see results in a week, and it's just $6 a month. They report your on-time payments to all 3 major credit bureaus every single day. Take control of your credit now. Download the Ava app, spelled AVA, today, and use our code CARPOD, that's CARPOD, to get your first month totally free. Get the Ava app and use our code, again, CARPOD, so that you know that you heard it from us. And get your first month of Ava free. That's CARPOD, thanks to Ava, and now get yourself some good credit.
Okay, give us your next
That's
story.
Mercedes.
Oh,
I have
come on.
all the good news stories.
Yes.
I'm so thrilled. All right. Porsche currently sells a Macan and a Macan EV. Right? The Macan EV, new. The Macan not EV, not new. That came out in 2015.
Thank you. Explain it to me like you would a child.
I felt like I had to. The Macan came out in 2015. It's a 10-year-old product at this point. It's also their like best-selling product, period. The thought was that the EV Macan would replace it fully, but they've kept it around. Porsche Macan Classic, if you will.
Yes. Okay.
There will apparently, based on news this week, be a successor to the gas-powered Macan coming out in 2028. This is basically Porsche saying, yeah, we didn't plan on making another one, but now we know that we really, 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 really need to.
I do want to stick up for Porsche here. They had never said this would replace the gas one. They were going to sell them in tandem. I think they were hoping it would replace the gas one. Now, and obviously that's not going to happen now, thank God. What the big question, though, at least for the purposes of this podcast, is what about the mid-engine cars? The Cayman and the Boxster are gas now. They've out of production. They're going to be replaced. It's the ton of talk about they're going to be replaced by electric. The demand for electric has fallen off. The tariff situation has happened. The electric vehicle incentives have decreased. Yep. Are they really still going to commit to creating electric versions of the Boxster and Cayman instead of gas versions?
I wouldn't count on it. I mean, Porsche's in a really tough spot. They've had an incredibly, incredibly tough 2025. Chinese sales are way down. U.S. sales are down, and they've had to raise prices really notably on the 911. I view this as we need to make sure we have products that we can actually sell and make some profit on in the U.S. I do know that there's a EV Cayenne coming out because they've been showing that everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's a tough market to invest really heavily in a whole new product line where there isn't that much interest in EV anything right now.
Yeah.
They might be so late in it that like they will still choose, hey, may as well build it and defray our R&D costs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough market.
It is a tough market. I don't know. And the market has kind of spoken clearly what they want from Porsche and manufacturers in general. So they're just in a really hard position.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know that I agree with the thank God they're making a new Macan gas-powered car. I mean, good for Porsche sales, but like,
well,
the GTI exists.
Wait, what do you mean? It's their most popular car. Of course they're going to make that.
Yeah.
What's the problem with that? Don't you?
No, you sounded excited by it, and I view it as
you don't like the Macan?
That's fine.
Dude, used ones are 16 and they're fast and they're fun.
Yeah. But as I said, the GTI exists, and it's the same engine.
The GTI exists. It's the
exists.
same engine in the base Macan. Dude,
That's
me
what
and
people
Kennan,
buy.
me and Kennan, pull up the site. Pull up the site. Type in Macan Turbo up there.
No, I'm familiar with what Macan turbos sell for.
Look at that.
What are they
The
selling
answer
for
is
there?
$13,700. Go back to that.
Well,
for a second.
What are they? What kind of power do these have? 420, 450, something like that?
That's right, 420.
400.
400.
400 horse. So
I mean,
50
man,
more than
what
an
a deal.
SQ5.
What?
50 more than an
Kennan,
SQ5.
let's go splitsies.
Well,
I mean,
or
well,
just
I
buy
don't
one.
think, or just buy one. Yeah, exactly, precisely. That is remarkable.
It's got
though.
50 more horses than an SQ5. It's got a dual clutch, and it's quicker around corners. That is a cool car. And you're
Yeah.
going to be over here telling, I don't really care if they make one or not. No, Filippo, you want them to make one. Plus, carsandbids.com, which, by the way, is the creator of this podcast, I think. It might be me, but it might be them. We made a lot of money on Macans, dude. You need a new Macan. You got to feed the beast.
So true. So true.
The sound effect really
That
sent
is
it there
such
for
a good point.
Give us our next news story there.
Yes. So Corvette so Chevy has released some very interesting stuff about the C8. Really, it's lap times and the new price of the ZR1X. The big talking point is that the ZR1 set a time of 6:50, 7:63 around the Nürburgring.
So fast.
Yes, and the ZR1X did a 6:49, 2:75. Which is, blisteringly fast. Anything in and around the 7-minute mark is crazy. I was just there and experienced it myself, not a 7-minute or a sub 7-minute.
No, not a 7 minute.
Quite far off in an E46 Touring, which I'll talk about later. But this was...
Wait, the current production car record is the Black Series at 648. What did that do? 649?
649. Pretty amazing. So it makes it beat the Mustang GTD, which held the American record at 652.072. The big thing is that they also released the MSRP of the ZR1X, which is $207,000, which is a lot of money, but it's a heck of a lot less than the GTD.
Or 217 if you want a convertible.
Or 217 if you want a convertible, which of course you do.
No, why would you? What are you going to try to do? Put down 6649 number
so
top down.
legit, though.
So-
it's a lot of money, but these cars are so legit. That's one of the fastest cars ever around this racetrack.
207 is not that much money for one of the fastest record holding.
Now, I will
No,
tell
it's-
you.
it's not.
I will tell you. I erred a second ago when I said the Black Series has the record. The actual record is the AMG 1, which did a 629. However, that doesn't count because it cost $5 million. But I will say, though, it says over here that the record was certified by a notary, which is so German. Like it's like we're not gonna believe you unless you have like a woman there with a stamp.
So that's the German way to take something incredibly exciting and make it very boring.
Okay, so
I think, well, there are a couple more things. One is it was driven by Drew Cantle, who is their development engineer. It wasn't obviously at this kind of time, you do need to be a good driver, but it wasn't a professional known racing driver who did this, which makes him the fastest non-pro driver ever to go.
Really?
That's
wow.
It's pretty crazy. But I think the C8 we know is a wonderful platform. This just underscores like American manufacturers are making some cool stuff right now, and that is an incredible time. And the engineers at GM should be very proud of that.
Yeah.
Is 711 a base C8?
No, that's the Z06. That's the Z06.
That's the Z06.
Which is also a 711 is a pretty impressive time. Did you say the Courage GT, the most recent one it did with the new tires and suspension and a pro driver, did right around that time as well?
Well, wait, just with new tires. They won't do it with suspension. I wish they would, but they won't. But 712, it did 712.
712.
So the greatest car ever made does 712, and they do 711. Something to think about.
Something for you to think
I will
about.
also say it's been very fun to watch how Ford has reacted to this, because obviously the Mustang GTD is slower and 100-something thousand more expensive.
Right.
And made in Canada, so take that as you will.
That's a good question about
but like
Mustang GTD.
Yeah, of course.
How did this happen?
The Mustang GTD or them being slower than a Corvette ZR1X?
Well, first off, I want to talk about the name, which we've discussed before, but not on the pod. The GTD is a diesel. Okay, they make a Golf.
No.
It is a diesel Golf. Yeah.
They make a Golf GTI, and then there's like a sporty diesel one, and it's called the GTD. So
The
to
one
me,
that I
that's
buy, yeah.
what a GTD is. Like me and a bunch of Europeans think that's what the GTD is, right? Okay, but then also, how did this happen? Like, why did they create this? I think I was busy when it was announced, and I haven't paid enough attention to it. And then I found all these people on Instagram are like getting one or not getting one, and it's like this big deal. But like, it's like a $500,000 Mustang that like is a crazy track car. Where was the precedent?
Well,
how did this happen?
Please go ahead.
Well, we got to see the car at IMSA.
We did.
Ford has invested a lot of money into going racing, and the GTD, it was effectively a road-going version of the race car.
Okay, so they raced this car as a race car.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's made by Multimatic, or partially built and developed by Multimatic, which also makes a lot of race car chassis.
Yeah, and I got to see the car when it was announced at Quail.
Wow.
It is.
What else does Multimatic make, Filippo?
Oh, a few other cars back in time.
Well, they're known for this.
You know what?
Yeah, the Ford GT.
The new Ford GT. The new Ford GT. My Ford GT was built in Detroit. American steel Kennan, just like the R1S and the Plymouth Laser, okay? But the new Ford GT is built in Canada. And the VIN of every new Ford GT starts with words that I can't say on this podcast.
Interesting. I will also, I want to go back
You're going to look that up
Ford
later, aren't you?
I want to go back to how Ford has reacted to this, which has been basically to say, Joe Farley commented on like Chevrolet's Instagram post about this, and basically like, congratulations. And then the implication from other comments is that they're going to bring the GTD back out and think that it can do notably better.
Instead of bringing the GTD back out to like try againsies, you lose and it's like, all right, let's do the World Series over again and see if we can just win this time. Why don't you just come out with a different car?
Oh, like the Raptor R, but lower it and like add more power, see if it can go faster.
No, I'm thinking like mid-engine. Like they got the mid-engine thing. What does the new Ford GT do lap Nürburgring in? You know what I mean?
The regular Ford GT? Nope. That's a good question.
All right, I'm going to look it up.
Regardless,
Ford
it's fun to see a Ford GM battle for Nürburgring times. Like they're both so invested in performance right now.
There's not one on Wiki. My Ford GT does it in 752, which is the same time as an M4.
Man,
it's actually slower than a Stelvio Quadrifoglio.
The fast SUV.
That's a pretty serious car, to be honest.
Such is the rate of progress. But no, to your point, like when I was a kid, I never in a million years thought that Ford with the Mustang, basically,
and the Contour SVT,
and Chevy with the Corvette would be duking it out on the Nürburgring in deep sub 7.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's wild.
It's totally wild. And if you look at this list of the very best Nürburgring lap times, those cars are in the top, like very highest echelon top of the top. Like there's only maybe 5 cars in that area, a couple Porsches, a couple Lambos, the Mercedes AMGs, and then these guys, and not in that order. Like these guys are at the very. It's crazy.
Yeah, this makes me very proud of like GM doing this. I mean, what a tremendous value, and like that's a very serious achievement that people can actually go and buy.
So that's pretty cool. Ford comes out with a street car version of its Mustang GT3 car. $500,000. Chevy comes out with successive rockin' Corvettes that are setting Nürburgring lap times. And Chrysler, don't forget this, Chrysler comes out with an electric version of the Dodge Charger that plays engine noises from its bumper.
Yes.
I'm not saying every American manufacturer is doing it right, but it seems that GM and Ford are.
As a potential future Corvette owner, I'm excited by this.
God.
You've been a potential future Corvette owner for 20 years, dude. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next news story.
I hope you enjoy your meetings at the future potential Corvette owner club.
It's an exciting one.
That's the end of the news. Today's show is brought to you by Delete Me. Have you ever wondered how much of your personal info is out there online? Your name, address, phone number, even details about your family are being collected and sold by data brokers. Doug has been a huge fan of Delete Me for years and has recommended it to me as more of my personal information has ended up online. We're thrilled to have Delete Me back as a sponsor, and I finally took Doug's advice, and it's been massively helpful. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal data from hundreds of data broker sites. You tell them what information to remove, and their experts do the rest. They keep working for you, constantly monitoring and sending personalized reports showing what they found and removed. Delete Me does the hard work of cleaning up your personal information online so you don't have to. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now, at a special discount for our listeners, today get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you join deleteme.com/DeMuro, that's DEMURO, and use the code DeMuro. Again, DEMURO at checkout. That's deleteme.com/DeMuro using the code DeMuro.
Okay, we got to move on to talk cars. And this is, by the way, in this segment we talk about cars. It's brought to you by Cars and Bids. You go to carsandbids.com, you buy cars or sell cars, or you just bid on cars, or you look at, I don't know. Anyway, all right. The most important thing that has happened this week in the Talk Cars segment is you guys went to a trackside Cars and Coffee at an IMSA race somewhere in Wisconsin.
No. Not only did we go, we put on, as Cars and Bits, the first ever trackside Cars and Coffee. It was at Road America in beautiful Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And I say beautiful because I miss Wisconsin. It was gorgeous, and I miss Wisconsin greatly.
It's a beautiful track. It's known as the American Spa. You can easily see why when you're there. Lots of elevation change, beautiful woods that it runs through. But it was wonderful. There's Filippo right there in that picture.
That's Filippo. And you know what?
That's Filippo.
Filippo.
I'm there somewhere.
That's Filippo going back to Wisconsin in the summer. You remember that Kid Rock song, All Summer Long?
Of course.
That was written about Filippo's boyhood. What kind of car showed up to this thing?
Everything.
I see a
everything.
Saab. Is that a Vigan Saab?
Yes.
Yes,
cornflower.
Monte Carlo yellow. Yes, it is.
There's a cornflower Golf R there, or GTI.
There sure is.
That's a Targa of some variety. What else you got?
Yep, a 992 Targa 4S, a UNSX all carbon, and an old NSX all carbon GT3 RS, an S2000 that was currently on the site, an E61 M5 build.
Yeah.
That E61 M5 was there.
So cool.
Yes, and I got to talk to the owner of that car. So cool that he really went to excruciating detail to get every detail on that thing correct. Like he told me there's a styrofoam tray that sits in the back for the M-Mobility kit in case you get a flat tire. Impossible to find and no longer available from BMW. It took him 3 months to track one down, but he said it was, quote, keeping me up at night that I didn't have that for the car.
He's like
That's
you.
the level he went to.
Like
he
you.
is like me.
But he's into better versions.
Well,
cars.
all right, let's knock 10%
There
off
was a Dolomite brown E63 AMG wagon that we sold on the site. There was a gentleman that brought his red Cadillac ATS-V.
There's also an A12 GTS.
There was an A12 GTS, but who cares? The guy that brought the ATS-V Blackwing had previously bought a BMW 340i from Cars and Bids, then sold it Cars and Bids. It's just generally so. Like, there were so many cool people who were so into Cars and Bids, into each other's cars, and just talking about it.
Well, hey, Filippo, if you could have bought any car there at the Cars...
The Saab 93 Vigan.
Okay.
If Filippo thought about it.
I told the dude to let me know.
Kennan, what about you there?
It was hard. I really thought about that. There was a gorgeous 997.1 turbo in blue,
turbo.
Manual, coupe. I mean,
Well, that's the answer.
Carbon. Yeah, it is the answer. That was great. The A12 was spectacular too. Actually, and there was a really clean C4 ZR1, which I was enamored with. There were two, but there was one that was really clean.
Late or early?
One was a 92, one was a 94.
Yeah, then the white one with the white interior, I believe, was a 94.
Are we doing another trackside Cars and Coffee?
It just so happens that yes, we are.
Crazy.
We're going to be doing one in October. What's the date, Filippo?
I honestly don't remember. October 13th?
October 12, October 13, at the IMSA race in Road Atlanta, which is actually an hour outside of Atlanta in a town called Brazelton.
Yes.
It's where they make the Panoz Esperante, which is Kennan's third favorite car. Fun fact, Kennan's third favorite car. Now, it's very exciting. How many cars are we going to be able to take at that one?
We're still working on it because the reaction to this Trackside Cars and Coffee was honestly so much stronger than we expected. So we currently have space for 50. We're going to try to increase that. What will be a little bit different is at Road America, we were trackside, like literally next to the track, which was very cool and also very loud every minute and a half.
This is definitely
Road America, long circuit, minute and a half, got you time to chat. At Road Atlanta, we will be in the paddock, which will be incredibly cool, but it means that we still have to do some logistics. A lot more information coming out about this soon.
Can I ask you a question, Filippo?
Of course.
What do you do with it? Like, did you give a speech?
I'll tell you what he did.
Oh, God.
He went and talked to a lot of people who wanted to talk to Filippo, and it also then wanted to talk to me. But he also went and walked through, and as you can see here, guys come up and talk to him.
I talked to I think every single person.
I thought most
tell me, I want to know, Filippo, deep down, do you? What do you like? Did you, when you started, did you like stand up there with a microphone and say, "Hey, everybody, it's me, Filippo"?
Honestly, people started arriving, and then they just kept arriving. And so it was a quick conversation with each person. And then I luckily got the chance to talk to a lot of the people more in depth. And also a lot of people came that were watching the race unrelated to Cars and Bids, or that weren't bringing a car, but came to check out the Cars and Bids paddock and talk to us. It was incredibly
Did
special.
you convince anybody to sell an automobile
Yes.
on carsandbids.com,
Yes.
the website that is sponsoring this podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
This
I
looks
want to
like a
say,
fun event.
way more information coming about the Atlanta event, including how you can sign up to bring your car, what else will be going on there. Also, people came from all over the place. A dude drove his R33 Skyline from Texas to see us. Somebody brought their McLaren 675 LT from Maryland to see us.
Trailered it.
They trailered it.
Our producer lied to me, but they trailered it.
Somebody
Well,
brought their
still.
Ferrari FF from Chicago, trailered. A little different. But people came from truly all over the place
How
to hang out
far
with
did
us.
the Toyota Sarah fellow come from? I see a Toyota Sarah right there. It's either
That's
that
a
or
Minnesota
a
plate.
and I have a suspicion it's a Toyota.
That is a Sarah. It's a Minnesota plate, so probably a few hours away.
I have to say, on behalf of Filippo and I, it was very humbling. Everybody who came up and said hello and wanted to talk, everybody was so kind, and I think we speak for us both and the entire Cars and Bids team that was there. We were so grateful for the response that we had, and it was a wonderful time.
A truly wonderful
Had a
event.
great
So
time.
great to meet
Kennan,
everybody.
how long
And
were
so
you
to
on
see
the
all
ground
that.
in Wisconsin?
48 hours, I think, enough to have cheese curds, which were lovely.
Did you? What's the
Shock.
airport like there in Milwaukee?
We flew
I
in and
flew
out
through
of Chicago.
I
You
drove up.
flew out
Direct
and
flight,
you
man.
drove from Chicago. You didn't enjoy the excitement of Milwaukee Airport.
Hey, Filippo made me. He said it was cheap.
First of all, General Mitchell Airport, good airport. Good airport. That is indeed what any of the Chicago airport's called. Don't doubt me. Also, I drove a Sierra 1500, about 800 miles. all
I
weekend.
drove a Subaru Legacy.
Yeah,
What? How did you rent these cars?
at the airport.
You didn't rent them
As
from.
one
You didn't
does.
rent something cool from Turo? Are you out of your mind?
He
There
wouldn't
is
let me.
nothing that would have stopped me if I was flying into Chicago. There is nothing that would have stopped me from running a ratty G-Wagon on Turo. I would have found the rattiest one intentionally and balled it up when I was driving up, like just like windows
Look.
down, music up, like yo people.
You got to understand the level of jet lag I was operating with here to be there for this.
No, I know
He
it's
just wanted a reliable Japanese automobile, like so
a
many.
2-hour time difference. Tough. It's tough. All right, what is our
Right.
next?
I had landed. Well, that ties back to me, I believe.
Yeah.
So I have been in Europe for a long
Whoa,
time.
and you're
I
back
was
now.
there for a friend's wedding. It was the main event, and I tacked on a bunch of car-related and fun stuff to do. I visited
Kennan-
9 countries while I was there.
Kennan,
Did a lot of very
tell
cool
us,
stuff. Yes, Doug.
What is Europe like?
You know very well, having been there. We have a number of European listeners, I suspect.
We do?
But it was lovely. I did go the car-related stuff. I went to
Straight to Monaco.
Monaco. was-
599. So
So yeah, but this
Definitely.
picture kind of sums it up. That's a Chiron. That's an SP2. That's a Dodici Cilindri. 599
Are we
GTO.
gonna just skip past the Model 3?
Yes.
Okay.
599 GTO. That is an A12 Competizione, a Mercedes SLS AMG Black Series. Behind that, an F12 TDF. And behind that, another Chiron.
And a Cullinan.
Yes, I saw Monaco was one of the most egregious displays of wealth I have ever seen. And if you're into ultra high-end performance cars, you must go. Like, it was incredible. Just walking around, I saw some stuff. And then I saw some weird normal stuff, like this C3 Corvette that was just parked right out in front of the casino.
Crazy.
Got a huge reaction. People were taking pictures of this car like crazy. And I took this picture specifically for you, Filippo.
Right next to an Audi Q8.
Then I went down in the garages as well because we parked down by the casino and I saw Z8 that had been abandoned and was there for a really long time. Chiron just next to, Alexis. A world record edition Veyron.
that day's
just
always there.
SVJ next to a Fiat. That just reminded me
yeah.
again of you, Filippo.
Thank you.
A LaFerrari. This is the one that clipped its nose famously. Aston Martin Valkyrie. I mean,
Which we also saw at IMSA.
which we also saw
Valkyrie
it,
next
so-
to an 05 Fanny.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, the stuff that's down there is remarkable. And then I took this picture for Filippo.
Thank you.
A
I
new
love
smart
these.
car
This-
on Steely's
I
a
just-
German
so you
I've
place.
know.
seen that. I didn't even
We're
know that was a
few
thing.
years
The
up.
smart car could be on base steelies. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Filippo?
no, I didn't know that either, but that's been out for a while now. So who
Maybe
knows?
Well, I
he's
took
on.
that
Maybe he's
picture.
on winters.
Yeah, maybe. It is, after all, only July.
But
It looked
going
like an
around Monaco,
Austrian plate, but I don't know. We're now back to the 599.
no,
Pull that
German.
up.
It's a German plate.
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's German.
Oh wow,
D
but
for
from
Deutschland.
Frankfurt, that's where they have the snow. So there you go. It's July. He hasn't taken his winters off yet. He's not a true German.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered. But yeah, so Monaco, incredible experience. Like, just to walk around and see the cars. Well, if you're into cars, it's the place where all of these things are. I got passed by a LaFerrari just driving around. It just is a normal thing. And also, as someone who's into Formula One, to walk around the actual circuit itself and like, go to the hairpin and walk through the tunnel. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It gives you perspective on like how fast those cars drive through there.
Did you see?
Remarkable.
I agree with that. I drove it myself in a Ford Fiesta. Did you see a 92 Diablo?
No, not a lot of old Lamborghinis. Did see a 350 GT though, so there is that. But no, not like Diablo Countach. I was talking to my friend Ryan, who I was with. I was like, I can't imagine driving one of those old cars like around there. It would be so difficult.
Also,
awful.
The thing about Monaco is that it is cool to see all the cars. However, they are not going more than 11 miles an hour ever, really.
I mean, yes, but still, I mean, yeah, it's the same thing with cars and coffee. The difference is this, and Car Week, to be honest. The thing with this is it's like Car Week on a random Tuesday afternoon. You just never know what you're going to see.
You never know.
Like, I think that's really appealing. And if you've never done it, it is worth doing it for the sheer novelty.
I agree. You go around a corner, you might see a 92 Diablo. You go around another corner, you might see a 92 Diablo. Now,
you never know.
You saw no 92 Diablos, but you saw some sort of fake California.
I did see a 250 California rep that was parked next to a 300 SL, which is another thing. Just the stuff you see is off.
If there's anywhere I don't think it's a rep, though, it's
no. It was.
I know the aura was something was wrong.
The wheels were wrong. It had those rep wheels that the Ferris Bueller reps had.
But it wasn't a Modena. It was something different.
Monaco's great. But you did other fun things. What else did you do?
So we flew into Germany. I had a BMW X3 M50i.
I'm sorry.
Don't
What do you mean
say
you're
that.
sorry?
I tried so hard to get Kennan to rent a Fiat Panda or similar.
No,
I know,
which
but
you were wrong. You know why? Because I was on the Autobahn for a long time.
You can still max out the speed of on the Autobahn.
No, I will get to the Autobahn in a second. But no, I was very happy that I had my X3 M50i. I was with two other people. It was nice to be able to throw the stuff in there. Admittedly, there were times when I wish I had something smaller, namely driving up the Kubler Pass, which you have done from Italy into Switzerland. Very tight. Splugen, thank you. It's very tight. And I did scrape a little bit of the X3 on one of the posts that were there, but you kind of have no choice if you want to avoid cars going the other direction.
Splugen.
I don't know, but beautiful. But no, the thing I do want to talk about the Autobahn. Yeah. I ran into some issues with the Autobahn. So famously, the Autobahn is de-restricted in certain portions. Not the whole thing, but there are sections of it where you see 4 slashes on a white circle. You can go as fast as you like. As is reasonable given if it permits. Yeah. You do it at your own risk. And so I did get to max the car several times. However, in cities or closer to cities, I don't know what it is, but people with German plates on who should know better stay in the left lane and they just sit there. They camp there in de-restricted zones next to other slower traffic, which my understanding was that the German people understood that you overtake and then you get over. The Italians understood this on the Autostrada. But I was
harder to do that just generally. I mean,
No, it wasn't. Not in the situations I ran into. It was very easy. In fact, it was so not even. It was just like people were just camped there. And I was very frustrated by this.
Only the Italians do it right.
Yes. So if your engine displacement begins with a 1.2 or is powered by a diesel, get over. But I did.
Wait a sec. What if it's a Cayenne? What if it's a Audi Q7 V12 TDI? The Italians do it right, but part of that is because you have to pay to ride on the Autostrada, and so it's never crowded because Italians don't want to pay for
that. Is not my Autostrada experience, but people are respectful, and also I think there's an element that people in Italy recognize that their cars can fit in tight places, and so will move to the right lane even where you don't think there's room for them to move to the right lane. So they get over quickly.
I found that if there's room in the right lane, they did get out of the way. I was able to go very fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they feel comfortable moving over.
Kennan, how fast do you get up?
German. I maxed it many times, which was 155 miles an hour.
Wow, electronic limited.
Which I couldn't do in a little bit.
How are you feeling? Filippo's never been over 90.
I am feeling quite fine with that. There's something special about getting to 90 miles an hour after 27 seconds of flooring it through every single gear in a Fiat Panda.
Well, I value my time in Europe, and I wanted to get there quickly.
I do too. That's why I want to shift gears as many times as possible.
I still think the Autobahn is the most fun driving I've ever done. It's
really cool.
It's hard
at one point
to a guy like Filippo.
At one point, I was they were all SUVs, and I can't remember exactly what they were, but it was a Mercedes, myself in the BMW, an Audi, and a Porsche.
Yeah,
all.
That's like seeing a Cadillac, a Lincoln, a Pontiac, and a.
Yeah, we were all except we were all doing over 200 kilometers an hour in the left lane, just cruising, which was awesome, and it was a lot of fun. But I used the Autobahn to get around Germany on a couple of occasions when I got there, and then a little bit later in the trip. And later in the trip, I did what was the wedding was the big thing, but the second thing I went to do was to go to Spa.
One of the smartest apps you can have on your phone in 2025 is Upside. Upside gives you the power to earn more on the stuff you buy all the time. Whether you're filling up your tank, going out to eat, or shopping for groceries, the Upside app lets you earn cash back on every purchase. I've been using Upside a lot this summer. Every time I stop for gas or to grab a bite to eat, I open the app, claim an offer nearby, pay with my usual card, and just like that, cash back lands in my account. It's super simple. The app is free to download, and there are more than 100,000 places on it, including gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants. So you're never far from a spot where you can get cash back. I love that you can get around 8% cash back at grocery stores and restaurants. Plus, you can still use your regular credit or debit card rewards on top of that. It's like stacking savings without any extra work. Upside users are earning hundreds of dollars a year, which makes sense since the app has a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to get money back on stuff you're already buying. Download the free Upside app and use promo code CARS to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code CARS.
I went to Spa for the Formula One race, which was incredible. Oh yeah, here's just a random.
Oh, sure. What do we got here? Okay, we got a range.
This is a Wyra.
Here comes a Wyra.
This is
around.
a Monaco.
A GLC in the background.
Wiring around.
God, that car is just disastrous. What was that? A LaFerrari over there?
Sure. Yep, there's a LaFerrari over there too.
What's in front of you? A she? What is that?
That's a TDF. That's
an A class, A35 maybe.
AMG. Yep. It was just obscene. But going to Spa was the highlight for sure. I got to be there. I sat right at the base of Eau Rouge and Radion and watched the cars just rip past, which was the absolute coolest thing I think I've ever done in terms of Formula One. This is my favorite. Spa is my favorite track, and to be there in person with all of the history was incredible. I got to do a lot of things.
No, show that clip again.
You want me to show that clip again?
You know what's weird about this, Filippo? Pay attention closely. You know, all the cars are driving in the same place.
Well, they're taking the racing line through a place where you can't overtake.
Look at that. Yeah. Why doesn't somebody pop out a little? You know, these cars handle real well. Just take it a little outside and see what's going on.
Somebody did cut it a little bit in by like a foot.
Right.
I bet he picked up time.
That's 200 miles an hour up a damp.
Yeah. I love the bike path next to the road. That's so nice. I'm joking. But it looks like a bike path.
Okay. Hey, Kennan, what happened there at the race? Did anybody know you?
Yes. So I had put out on Instagram that I was going to be at the race, and about 100 people reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm here too. Would love to meet you." And a number of people came up and said hello, who were also some Americans, a bunch of people from all over.
That's so cool.
Some people were sitting close.
Or ask the obvious question. Why do we not do a trackside? Filippo's mad at me. Why do we not do a trackside cars and coffee at the Formula One race at Spa?
That's a great question.
It's a little more difficult, and we don't sell cars in Europe.
Okay.
Problem.
Let me posit a different option. I bet Spa is expensive because the F1 is big in Europe, and the Europeans all go there. They go to Belgium. They're willing to put up with Belgium just to watch this race. But what if we went to trackside cars and coffee at the race in Kazakhstan? Because I bet you that the sponsorship isn't as expensive in Kazakhstan, and we could and I bet the cars and coffee would be amazing. You'd have like Priuses and Prius Vs and Montero Sports. I think it's something to think about, Filippo. I know you do this kind of stuff.
Thank you for these ideas. They're wonderful.
They're great. He'll put that one in the circular folder there and just get rid of that.
There's a race in Kazakhstan, dude. Yep. It's in Kazakhstan.
For right now, we're loving being partners with IMSA for their races. It's a good U.S. version.
But I loved it. I also got to do the Formula One pit stop challenge where I got to change a tire with this German couple who could maybe do with a little bit better coordination. But it was, and especially, AIM.
Oh.
The German guy couldn't quite get it right. But nonetheless, that was fun to
6 seconds though.
Yeah, but
Slow.
that's incredibly slow.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun too. And then there are a lot of people in the comments who've objected to our ad that I did with the Brunt boots.
Oh, sure.
However, I wore my pair with pride to Spa. Here is evidence of
Why
me
did people
walking.
object? What do they think? That you don't
Boom,
wear...
there's the...
That is the single worst video I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's so disconcerting.
That is actually, I think that is actually the worst video I've ever seen. But why did people
Give me
object?
motion like that, and I'm sitting still.
And why did people object to this?
Because I'm not the kind of person who normally wears boots, which is true, but I did wear them here. I also wore them in the Bois Jacques because I went to where the
There you
101st
go.
Airborne was stationed outside of Bastogne. They were wonderful. And they kept my feet very dry and warm, and they were really comfortable. I was genuinely happy to wear them. I will take them with me on my future travels.
And unfortunately, we did not get paid by Brunt for this ad, but hey.
No, but
Kennan, I got a couple
I'm very
questions
proud of
about
it.
Belgium for you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they got the German flag, but it's switched. But did you notice all the personalized license plates?
I didn't notice a whole lot of
Belgium has allowed people to personalize license plates like America. This brand of freedom has finally made its way to Europe. And so in Belgium, you can get the license plate like Kennan.
Right. Now, unlike you, I was focused on experiencing the culture as opposed to just looking at license plates.
That's the
but
culture. The culture has become obsessed. If you go to Belgium right now and go to a dinner party in Ghent, go to a dinner party in Bruges, all right, you spend some time at a park in Brussels. You know what they're talking about? They're talking about their red license plates and the fact that you can get them to say Kennan.
Oh.
Well, that's wonderful.
That's delightful.
I had a great time at Spa. That was my reason for
That
going to
sounds like
Belgium.
An incredible trip.
It was an amazing trip, I have to say, of the whole thing. I mean, Spa was, without question, one of the... my friend getting married, of course, is the crown
Yeah,
jewel.
sure, whatever.
But second to that,
I
Spa
don't
was
agree with
amazing. Well, it was I love both my friends who got married, so I'm very happy.
You went to Monaco and saw La Ferraris and Chirons, and then you went to Spa and saw Formula One, and you drove on.
that-
I also went to Lake Como to Villa d'Este
And
had
to the
lunch there.
Nürburgring.
And I went.
Who cares about a wedding?
And such is
I
the
like
power of
weddings. I
friendship.
want to be happy for people, but you did better things in the wedding. You killed it out there. You're
I did have a great time. There are two thanks I want to give. One is to my friend Sretton from M539 Restorations, who unfortunately I couldn't borrow his M5, although I'm glad that I didn't because of the sheer mileage I covered and just being afraid of damaging it. I'm really happy. He felt very bad that I didn't
Why
have
are you
it.
giving him a
but
shout out? You didn't borrow his car. If he had given
because
you
if you'd let me speak, we then went to he took me to the Nürburgring in his E46 Touring, and we went around. Well, the first day I was there, which was fantastic. He's an
get
amazing
brought up
driver.
earlier. This is insane. That you rode around the Nürburgring.
Yes, I rode and yes, we got there, went out for a dry lap, and it started raining immediately when we finished. Auto Alex was there, a bunch of British YouTubers were there as well. I'm actually in the back of one of the videos.
Really?
We set Sretton's car up with cameras, and then I just made a cameo on the back of the car, which is
What
very
was it
funny.
like? Did you run a 712 like that Corvette?
We did not. The E46, as mighty as it is, really is not equipped to do a 712. But
It's not
I
as
did,
good as a Corvette.
but it
we
was
know that.
amazing. I walked away with two things from it. One is that if you want to drive it, you need to spend time in a simulator, really learning all the corners before you go, so that you know what to expect. You won't be adept to the changes in the terrain and the sheer elevation change, but it'll help a lot because there are a lot of corners. But the other thing I learned is that I can see why people get addicted to it. It's so much fun, and you're constantly trying to make it better, and you're always you're not supposed to time yourself, but some people do, and you just can get obsessed with it. And Chevy did.
It's not a.
But yeah,
You know what?
it was amazing. It was incredible, and he's a very good driver. And that car is very nicely sorted, so it drove beautifully, and that was my first exposure. I didn't want to drive for two reasons. One, he offered to let me drive his E60 M5.
You didn't drive it. You could have. You should have, dude. The Nürburgring.
You don't understand. The level of
dunk on Filippo even more.
The level of jet lag I was experiencing, it was unwise because then we also had to drive the hour and a half back to
sometimes
Frankfurt.
you don't want to drive in a high pressure, high risk.
No,
scenario.
and I've never driven it. And also, he was going to use that car to bring his recently newborn son home from the hospital, which he did. And I didn't want to risk damaging it.
Wait. Let's go back, Filippo. I think we need to, because we got to move on to the SLR. But I want to talk really quick about this. So he had a son that has not yet come home from the hospital.
No, he brought his son home from the hospital in the E60 M5. This would have happened prior to that. I didn't want to risk damaging it. Thus taking that ability away from him.
Time works in this way where there's like a time.
There's
right?
time.
And Kennan had this experience some time ago.
Yes.
But now it's telling us about it now. And other events have happened between some time ago and now.
Yeah, one of those events was Kennan went to Spa and took a picture of this fella. This blue.
Yeah, who is a parajumper.
Okay,
there are two other topics. No. Two other topics.
No, we have to move on.
Two other topics. First of all, a bunch of us will be at Car Week next week. Two things I want to say related to that. One is the podcast will actually come out on Sunday instead of Friday, which is sad for all those that like listening on Sunday. On Friday.
This is a one-time thing.
One-time thing. But I want everybody to know so they can mentally prepare. They can steel themselves for Friday. If you see us around, because we'll be going to some events. I'll be going to some events. Kennan might. Who knows? I don't know his life.
Yep.
Come say hi, because we would like to see you.
I had no idea Filippo was going. I'm thrilled he is. I had no idea he was going until this moment. But now if I see him around, I will say hi.
I would hope that you do.
Yeah.
Because we're friends. It'd be kind of rude not to.
Okay, our next topic is the market report. And I only want to talk about one thing because we got to move on to questions, and the questions were great. But I only want to talk about one thing in the market report is the SLR. I want to tell you guys something. I'm going to give you a little backstory here. I come here, I live in the East Coast in the summer. I come here, and I don't spend a lot of time doing car things. Nobody here knows anything about cars. I got a neighbor with a Ford Ranger. Oh. But for some reason... So as a result of that, sometimes I text my friends here, Filippo, Kennan, and various other people, Nick, Sam. There's a lot of people. Some of them come on our pod and various things about cars. And one of the things that I've been texting about pretty much every couple weeks all summer was Mercedes SLR values. And when I get on an SLR value tangent, nobody is willing to talk to me about it. It's probably happened 4 times over the summer. I'm late at night here, and they're like having dinner, and I'm like going to bed, and I'm like, SLRs are worth this, but I don't know about this. So anyway, no one's been willing to talk to me about it. So that's been sad for me. And by the way, this hasn't had it happen to other cars. It's just been the SLR this summer. I'm not really sure why. But now you two have to talk to me about it because we have an SLR live on the site. It's somewhere in Connecticut or Massachusetts or
Massachusetts, yeah.
And it's on the site. Now, I want to tell you something very special about this SLR. I spend an inordinate amount of time looking up SLR values. By the way, no personal interest in the car. I spend an enormous amount of time looking up SLR values. And you know what is interesting? None of them have miles. None of them.
One of them has miles.
Well,
they have never been driven. They list and they always have 4,000, 6,000 miles. And maybe that's because a brake job costs $150,000. I don't know. I'm not saying that's why, but I'm saying it's a possibility, right? This particular slur has 36,000 miles. And that is cool as hell because this one was actually driven and used. And that's pretty baller.
It is very baller. Ken and I were talking about this because we have a weekly show where we talk about the cars that are live now, and this was one of them. So we talked about it. It's incredible how this was very much a competitor, or maybe not a competitor, but out at the same time, and it kind of talked about in the same conversation.
Same caliber
as an
of
Enzo
car.
and a Courier GT.
Yeah.
The market does not recognize it as on par with those anymore.
Well,
and that's interesting.
Various things have happened, but production numbers ended up being a big
significant. I mean, 2157 is a lot of SLRs.
That and it's 5-speed torque converter automatic. But
wait, 2157 does not include the 722 or the Sterling Moss.
It includes the Sterling Moss.
No, 2157 was just the regular slur. I'm going to look this up because I think I'm right because I got really into SLRs. 2157 total. Remember when Mercedes said they were going to make 3,500?
Well, they
you remember that?
I don't remember that. No.
Anyway, what
outrageous.
do we think about this this car there, Filippo? You've been following the market on slurs. If you've been reading my text, you'd know.
Look, we have to pick and choose our battles. You just go on tangents, and sometimes we just let you go talk in a corner
Sometimes
by yourself.
I'm busy.
This is one of the things.
I don't know, man.
The SLR, I think, offers a tremendous value in that it is instantly recognizable as one of the cars of those era. It is insanely powerful. 617 horsepower is no joke.
Yep.
And, you know, it's this weird collaboration between Mercedes-Benz and McLaren. These cars were built in Woking by McLaren, and they were designed by Gordon Murray. Like, there's a lot of interesting aspects of the car. I do think that they are undervalued, given how cool and special they are. That said, will it be ever as worth as much as an Enzo Courage
But like,
GT?
maybe.
No.
Okay,
the driving experience and production numbers alone.
If you add up Enzo and Courage GT production, add them together, you still don't have as many cars as this.
So they'll never be worth that much. But I do wonder whether they're primed to at some point actually appreciate in a real meaningful way.
Maybe people have been saying that for years. You know, it's funny. We talk about how hated cars that were hated, and they eventually rise, right? And I was thinking about it the other day. That's not always true. Like the LFA rose, which I think is actually quite a similar car to the SLR, if you really think about it. Like bad automatic, not the most attractive. Hated in its time, couldn't sell them, and then it kind of took off later. But for some reason, the LFA took off, but the SLR didn't. I don't really understand that. When I see an SLR, I freak. I absolutely freak. Like,
for good reason.
It's just so insane looking and so ridiculous. That long hood, the front thing that looked like Formula One, those wheels, the side exit exhaust. Like, I see one of those, and I'm like Kennan when he sees an E39 M5, you know,
and
or a 540i M Sport. I want to be clear, but
the M-Tech, the 03 M-Techs, yeah.
So, what do we think about this? Where's this headed, Felipe? You got any guesses? Huh?
I don't, but interest should be high on a high mile one because, like, who knows, right?
Not a lot of comps for high mileage. If you want one to drive, this is a good one. It's also got a red interior, right?
Yep, Silver Arrow 300 SL Red. And who knows the market? I certainly don't pay attention to the SLR market, but
you should. You should. People have delivered that information to you.
I don't know the last time I saw an SLR. For the fact that they made 2,200 of them, I see one less regularly than I see a Carrera GT.
I saw one in Monaco. I took a picture of it somewhere.
Right.
Did you? What was it? What was it? A 722? A Roadster? A Coupe? A Stern?
No, it was a Normie. It was a Normie Coupe.
Dude, a silver Coupe. Sometimes when it's a quiet night, the kids are asleep, and I got nothing going on, I'll think about getting a silver Coupe.
You dream about flipping open that cover on the center, on the shifter, and hitting that button and hearing it go.
And then flipping open the cover on the center stack and turn on the radio.
That's right. Important
Give
task.
us the 308. Give us the 308, Ken, and then we have to move on to questions.
So recently we sold a Ferrari 308 GTSI, which is the second series of the 308 when they went to the fuel-injected engine, the two-valve fuel-injected engine, before they went to the Quattrovalvole. These cars, I drove one, this 82, which sold for a ton of money, had no miles on it. But I think, based on their values, which are kind of in the 50s, 60s, this has gone back to being a great entry-level Ferrari. 308s had a huge spike for a time, and QVs are still more expensive. But for 50 to 60 grand, you get beautiful styling, like instantly recognizable Ferrari styling. You get a gated manual transmission. You get the small go-kart analog feel. Yeah. You get the Ferrari experience, and 308s are pretty easy to service relative to the cars that came later. The belts can be done with the engine in the car.
Oh,
they're known for their relative reliability comparatively to it's like 355 and 348 and stuff, but they are really compelling cars.
As hell too.
Cool as hell. I mean, it's the wedge shape, and I just think in this price range, granted, this one's an outlier because it had 1,900 miles on it, but in this price range, they are pretty appealing. And I realize this one is a QV; it had lots and lots of miles on it and that sort of thing. But I think it's a really compelling car.
When I was driving, I did a video on one. It's one of those, I think.
It's this one here on the end.
I did a video. What did that sell for? The one I did the video on?
60 Gs, and it had great upgrades.
So cool for 60. Like the Countach is cooler, but it's 10 times more expensive. Like these cars are really cool for what they sell for. They turn everybody's head. They have the cool wedge shape. They look exotic. Like they are legit cool cars.
And they're actually fun to use. Like it's the Countach is a difficult experience, and that's kind of what you want with it. But this is actually like, comparatively is very ergonomic and like it's fun. And I think I'm not saying that these cars will become super valuable. Again, Ferrari made a ton of these. It was a very successful car for them at the time. But I think that for the longest time, this was a very inexpensive Ferrari. They went very high, and I was like, oh, maybe the days of getting a cheap 308 are over.
Right.
No, I think 308s have settled into a very comfortable spot. And, I think
by the way, I don't think they will ever shoot up. The market has just proven time and time again they're not that interested.
There's too many.
But it doesn't matter. Also, I didn't find it that slow. I found that the 308, I thought it was zippy. Like, it's not fast, but it's not slow. It's fun to throw. It's like a Miata. Like, it's fun to kind of toss around and kind of push and get into corners. It has good feel, good feedback.
It's about the experience, and it gives you the Ferrari experience, and the lights go up, and the horn is ridiculous, and like you have all of that magic to it.
And or you could say it in Italian, esperienza, right, Filippo?
Yeah, he gatekeeps the Italian language, and just anything. If you do anything, you would try to do an Italian accent. He just his screen prickles.
Maybe people shouldn't try to do an Italian accent. All
right, we got to move on to questions. I don't want to do this right now. We can't have this fight in front of people. We'll do it at Pebble Beach because apparently
we'll do it live
there.
I will.
Okay, I want to move on to questions, and I have questions from people. First question from EVs and Clutch Pedals. What's the best car from the worst brand? An excellent automobile with a badge mostly found on crap. With a best car from the worst brand. Filippo, what do you got for us?
Okay. I legitimately think that the Maserati Levante Trofeo is a legitimately good car. I said Trofeo, but the Modena S is also probably the same. They both have that like real Ferrari-derived twin-turbo V8 in an SUV. It's a surprisingly good sports SUV.
Yeah, I would have gone MC12 on Maserati, but a version.
I mean, I of the actual Maseratis that are current era Maseratis.
Of all the cars you could have said, I would never have guessed that's what
in all honesty, I agree with that. I actually like that car. It performs really well. It was way too expensive new, but I bet they've depreciated.
Let me tell you, it's not way too expensive used.
Yeah, that car's not so bad. It really isn't. I agree with you.
I was going to cut a little deeper. I was thinking a little further back. I honestly, I thought the Saturn Sky was a very good car from a not very good brand.
No. Yeah. You're so wrong because every Saturn is good. The Saturn
I knew he would say that.
Good.
I knew that's exactly
the Saturn SC, the Coupe version of Saturn S, good.
I'm sorry to Saturn.
The Saturn View, those years that it had the Honda 3.5 liter V6, good.
The Sky Redline was cool.
It was a good car.
Okay, I got a couple options for you here, Filippo. You pick one that you like. Buick Grand National, baby boy.
Yeah, good choice.
That's a good one, right?
Great one.
Acura NSX NA2 or NA1, honestly.
Yeah, but they made so many good cars. The TL Type S was such a good car at that same moment.
Yeah, but the NSX is like an all-time automotive icon.
But the brand made good. The brand didn't make crap. They made good cars.
Okay, got another one. Jaguar XJ220. Kia Stinger GT.
Kia makes a lot of exceptional automobiles. I think I just love cars.
Plymouth Prowler. All right.
The Town and Country invented the minivan.
Scion FRS. Wait, the Town and Country wasn't a...
That one's hard for you to argue. That one's hard for you to argue.
I'm trying.
Even you can't do that.
Which one did I do? The Scion FRS?
The FRS.
The XB was, especially the first generation XB, was an icon. And by driver's ed, I used to have to do driver's ed in Wisconsin. Was in a second gen XB, so I look fondly upon that car.
All might have been good. By the way, another one.
Correctly.
No, I meant icon. It's the way it meant.
Another one you're not going to agree with, but is right. Geo Tracker. How you feeling?
Well,
no, I agree with that.
I didn't mind the Geo Tracker.
Filippo, how come you didn't say? How come you didn't say Suzuki? What was it called? The Kizashi.
Ooh, yeah, that's an interesting question.
All right, we got to move on
because the Grand Vitara was competitive.
What's that?
The Grand Vitara was competitive.
Not with the small SUVs of its day. All right, we got to move on. Next question from Future Mercy owner to Filippo and Kennan. Is there any car that you think Doug unfairly is hard on or unfairly hates?
Yep, LFA. Easy.
Trash. Marshall, what else you got?
Thank you. Point made. Thank you very much.
Bad tip, ugly. LC looks better, way too expensive.
Looks
What
good.
else?
Greatest sounding engine ever put.
Usually Doug
You
is wrong.
Kennan, are going to stand up for the LFA, a Japanese car with with a bad automatic that's ugly. You are
one
going
of
to stand up
the
for
a
it.
musical V10 and reliability.
I never
it's
said
like
it doesn't sound good, Dudette. I said it's bad.
Yeah, bad. You're saying the whole car comprehensively is bad, and that is not accurate. The
All
whole
right,
car
yeah,
is
you're
not
right.
bad.
You're right. Here's what it sounds like.
No, it is much.
Much more
It's
sonorous
been a
than
while
that.
since you've driven one. I think you need to drive one again.
No, I'm good. What else? Is there any other car that I unfairly slander? I think
generally
every other car that I slander is fair.
The problem is like Doug likes cars that are bad, not that he doesn't like cars that are good.
The Gran Turismo, you call it ugly, which is incorrect, based on the general populace's feeling toward the
Yeah,
car.
no, but I concede that. I don't like how I think the Gran Turismo is one of the ugliest cars ever, honestly, the Maserati Gran Turismo. But I concede that most people really think it looks good and that I have an incorrect. There's something I don't like about big fendered long coupes because I think the RX-8 is also one of the ugliest things I have ever experienced. And when you really think about those two cars, they have a very similar profile. They have a long wheelbase. The wheels are pulled way out, and they have a big, long center section, and then they have this sort of sloping big fender in front, and I just don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable.
What other? I mean, so there are two right there. They're
Well,
probably
there's
unfair.
one. I concede that I'm wrong about the first one. But the second-
Like I said,
cars
usually
that
it's cars that he likes that he's wrong about, not the cars that he hates that he's wrong about.
Yeah.
Doug and I
we all
don't hate
hang
that
out
many
because
cars.
we have similar automotive opinions. The moment
Nah, I
someone
won't say
comes up to
that.
me, the moment someone comes up to me and says, "I got 4 356s," I never talk to them again. They're gone.
No,
They're ether.
No, I agree with you on the 356 hate. But
The other day I was having a conversation with somebody here. I can't do the bathtub car. Okay, next question. Oh my God, this is a great question from Saab95. Oh, I've wanted to know the answer to this question for years. I should have brought it up on the Talk Cars segment, but here we are on the question segment, which, by the way, is sponsored by Cars and Bids. Why are enthusiasts so down on minis? Until recently, it seemed like they offered everything enthusiasts clamor about, yet I see little love for the brand. That is so true. It's hard to explain to young people, but when the Mini came out, enthusiasts thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Car enthusiasts. It was like the Miata. Honestly, it had that level of love, not just from like older women in cities, but like car enthusiasts loved the Mini. What happened? Like people hate it now. They're like, oh, it's too big. Well, it's still smaller than everything else. Why do people hate it now?
I have an answer.
Your answer is because we all bought them and they broke. And
Well-
now everybody hates them.
No, because there's a lot of cars that people still love despite the fact that they're unreliable.
my car has been very reliable.
Yeah, okay.
Kennan, there's a-
It has been.
I think it's an expectations problem. So the same way that when you're like, when you look at a really successful company and they say, we're going to grow a ton, and then they grow instead of 20%, they grow 19% for the 20th year in a row. People are unhappy about that despite growth, right?
Yeah.
Because despite it doing really well, people aren't happy because they expected more.
Yeah, okay.
People expected Mini to be this like super focused on sportiness, super small, what way Mini was at a certain point. And now it's not that. It's still smaller than others, but like they've grown a bit. And I think people feel betrayed or like it wasn't meeting expectations and therefore they don't like it. Even though it still is that, it's not that to the extent that they would promise that.
I get
Okay,
that.
but can I make a counterpoint? 20 years ago, BMW, Kennan's beloved brand, was making manual transmission 4-doors and manual transmission 2-doors and the Z8 and all this stuff that everybody loved. Now, BMW makes 7 SUVs and they got all this automatic transmission. They don't make any of the stuff that Kennan used to love 20 years later. Mini, 20 years ago, made a little hatchback with a manual transmission. 20 years later, you know what they make? More or less, a little hatchback with a manual people are always like, this company changed and they ruined everything. Mini hasn't changed. They tried, and all of their tries failed, and so they just went back to what they're good at, which is a little hatchback. What's the problem?
There's also an element of like consumer desires change, and what people also say they want is often not what they actually want.
Yeah, but they said but consumer desire hasn't changed. That am I wrong? Kennan,
Sure
what
it
do you
has.
like Mini? It's a BMW with a manual. It's a hot hatch BMW. Where are you?
The reliability of the
But at this point, it's
And
the
like-
same as every other.
Well, and yes, and the girl I'm dating currently is looking at getting a new car, and she was thinking about getting a Mini, but she too is afraid because of the car's reputation that it has for unreliability.
Someone here
Therefore-
asked me this like last week. What do you think of the Mini? And I'm
Mini,
like,
exactly. It's like
What'd you say?
I was like, absolutely not.
absolutely not. Exactly. So
Everybody I know who's had a Mini as
All right, so maybe reliability is the answer. Maybe reliability is the sole answer, despite the Countryman being a great car.
Well, I mean, look at
Great car,
Fiat.
totally.
Also, is another. I mean, like, generally speaking, has unreliability attached to it. It's brand. It's not true in the case of your 500.
My 500 Abarth has been incredibly reliable.
It has been. I mean, it's
Has 52,000 miles.
but yeah,
it's a little worn,
yeah,
but it's reliable.
Yeah, so I think that's the issue. But I don't know. I mean, they make some great cars. The John Cooper Works. I've driven a number of their cars. I've loved them all. They're really fun to drive. But I don't know. And it also is not the, I don't know. I think certain like super macho guys, I think it's not the most masculine looking car. And that's probably not untrue.
Nobody cared when it was the R53, though.
Nobody really, I don't know. There was something about that nobody cared. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I like the cars they make. I don't know if I'd buy them myself because, again, I am afraid of that.
There's also some element of like, I think that it's a novelty brand. Just like the Fiat 500 when it came out was a novelty because of how it was styled, of how it looked, of how like it made you feel.
That's true.
And then that novelty wears off.
That's true. These cars do drive really well. So like,
I drive fine.
Okay, I want to move on to two more questions.
Let's do it.
These are very good ones. Number one, someone has posted, Telemeister62 has posted a picture of Costco advertising 2,000 off MSRP on the Ineos Grenadier. And he says, sort of jokingly, I presume, will any of you buy an Ineos now? The answer to that is no, because used, they're selling for $37,000 off MSRP. Ineos really failed, didn't it? Like it's cool, and I think that it's very helpful for the like rich guys to cosplay being cool. Don't you think that's like what it is as like a brand? Like, but
I mean, look, it's a vehicle that's limited, speed limit. It's like 97 miles per hour, something like that.
the issue has been that once the crop of people who wanted them bought them, they have had a hard time finding buyers. And I noticed at every Ineos dealer, you got 60 of them stacked. The trucks are stacked. They got tons of incentives. They got tons of cash in the trunk or the cargo area, as it were. And I'll tell you something, this French, German, British car is not finding a huge audience.
At the same time, you see a lot of them. I don't think there's, I wouldn't call them a failure yet.
Yeah, you do see a lot of them, but at what cost?
They sell.
So am I interested in what $2,000 off? No, I still think it's overpriced. Like I actually think it's cool. I like it, but I like it at like 40. Which what are these selling for on this site?
60s, high 60s, high to mid 60s.
On like a 70 to 80 sticker.
Yeah. Give it 2 years.
Yeah.
Give it 2 years.
I mean, longevity will be tough. It's not a bad product.
Kennan will be interested. Kennan won't be
I
interested.
think they're cool, but no, not for me.
Kennan will be interested in a $10,000 Cayenne Turbo. That's
Okay,
it.
next question,
Always.
final question. And the question is directed to me, but Filippo's going to answer it. Actually, there's two more very quick. From Jason Buckholtz. Doug, you always say you are waiting for Mercedes to make a fully electric E-Class wagon or a plug-in. I put electric car chargers at my home. I want to plug something in. I would
love that.
Plug. The question is, my question, and Filippo, this is really to you. The next two are both for you. My question is, does the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo wagon not appeal to you, as they have become such bargains on the used market? Filippo, answer the question.
3 pieces. Does it appeal to me? Sure. Do I want one? No, because I like practical wagons, and the Taycan is not a practical wagon.
That's a
It's the same
big
issue I
part of
have
it.
with the Panamera Sport Turismo. And thirdly, they're not cheap enough yet. I buy cars out of sub 20, and we're still in the 60s.
I want you to answer as if you're me, and I wouldn't be my. You. The second thing was right on the money. It's not quite practical enough. A Taycan Cross Turismo is cool, but you're right. It doesn't have the cargo area. It doesn't. It's not quite practical enough. What's the primary reason I don't purchase this car, Filippo? What's the primary?
Of course. Despite the fact that you own a Porsche and deeply want another Porsche, you're not a Porsche person.
It's not that I'm not a Porsche person. I just don't want to like have a. I'm not driving my kids around a Porsche. It's just not going to occur. This will not occur.
No, just a Mercedes. Yeah. One of the two. The rare $200,000 convertible Barbie car.
Like, it's a weird hang up, but like I would. It's just not. It's not in my blood. Do you?
The
agree?
guy with the Countach can't be seen as gauche.
I agree with this.
Well, I'm not taking any. My kids have never been in that car, and they never will be. That's sequestered. I parked this stuff in front of my house. Like I don't want a Porsche.
I agree with you.
It's just not. It's not how I was raised. It's not who I am. It's not who I am at my heart. Do you agree?
No, I agree.
Thank you.
Legitimately. I get it.
Just a Mercedes and a Toyota with camo fenders.
Yeah, it's
That's
I got a
what you are.
Toyota, dude. I'm a Toyota guy. I got a used Mercedes wagon that I bought from the Mercedes-Benz dealership there in Tulsa, and I got a camo Sequoia.
Yep, you got a camo Sequoia with a bumper sticker on it that says "Come and take it."
Come and take it. I got Trump's face on my personal checks. Okay, next question. Final question. This is a good one. J Sturdy388 for Filippo, our resident Italian American. Now,
Italian.
excuse me.
You're
You're refusing to be called American? Do you not have?
Italian American?
You don't want to be an American anymore?
Italian
Well, then
American.
you can go. You can leave. We don't need you here.
We're going to call ICE right now.
I made such a
If you don't
mistake.
want to be an American anymore, Street Speed 717 will personally kick you out of the country. He'll kick
Look,
you out himself.
I've met Street Speed. I sat in the back of his Challenger. I drove his Challenger Hellcat. Hopefully he remembers me, and we'll save
No,
it.
dude, he doesn't. He only remembers Americans, proud Americans. All right, for Filippo, our resident Italian who has become
Thank
a
you.
naturalized American citizen. I
Yeah,
apologize.
correct.
He should have said that. Now
I did have to sing "I'm proud to be an American" when I was naturalized, as is the song they play.
I don't think that's true. Now that we have the first American
Just
Pope,
look
what
it up.
American car would you pick to be the Popemobile?
Yeah, great question. I think that an Explorer Sport Track is perfectly suited for this. It already has the bed to add a platform, like a glass platform onto.
True, true. Yeah. Was that built in the States?
You got to assume.
Well, I don't assume anymore because the Ford GT, which is America's god, is built in Canada, and then it's
Right.
tariffed. So let's see. Explorer Sport Track, where built? No one's ever asked this question on Google. Oh, Louisville, Kentucky. You're all set.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
You're all set. Okay,
goodness.
that's our podcast for today. Filippo's chosen the Popemobile.
Yep. It's gonna be the title.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you. What is it? Sunday of
Next Sunday.
Are we
Next
going to
Sunday.
do this same pod like with RJ? Like, are we going to take questions and talk about dumb stuff?
Yeah. If you have questions for RJ, put them in the community post. We will do our best to ask some of the best ones.
Do you agree that I can't act like this around RJ? He's like too legit.
Oh boy, do I.
I know you won't, but you should.
Like he's too. He went to MIT and RPI. Like I can't. Oh my God. He's
You went to
worth
Emory,
$3
be
billion.
proud.
I can't behave in this way. What are we going to do?
You have a Carrera GT.
I'm driving a Rivian to Monterey Car Week, by the way.
Oh, wow. If you see a Rivian at Monterey Car Week, it might be Filippo. It may also be a Monterey resident who is upset that their city's been overtaken by the car people.
Could be one or the other.
Filippo's got an Illinois license plate on his, and that's because he dreams of the Midwest. And because
true.
Diamond Star Motors, the original topic, made this car just like they made the Plymouth Laser RS, the original RS. Built there. I apologize for this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Our finest
Same.
ever. Filippo,
Boy,
do you
do
have
I too.
anything? Do you have anything?
No, just I'm so sorry.
Bye-bye, everyone.
It's good to be
Bye.
back. Goodbye.